Hi everyone, Nick Kratikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and tonight you're watching me on Bowdabra, and we're going to be creating lots and lots of bows as well as another candy cane. So here's our large Bowdabra, and Alex is behind the camera tonight. No, it's not working?
Oh, okay, yeah,
Oh, it is working? Okay. Every time I seem to film with Alex lately, it seems to not be working, so I'm going to be finishing up my gold wire as well. So look at how much I have left, you guys. Not a lot, but keep in mind, I've probably made 30, 40 bows at least from this roll over the last several months. So we're just going to cut a length of it and place it into our Bowdabra. And as you guys come in, let me know where you're watching from, and be sure to thank Alex for recording me today. Alex was up bright and early today. She was up at 5 o'clock for work. So we appreciate her being down here, and it's like old times, you guys, with Alex recording. And also, don't forget, Bowdabra is doing a giveaway tonight for a free roll of ribbon. So definitely comment down below letting us know you're interested in that, and you might just be the lucky winner. We'll be drawing the winner in the final 5 minutes of tonight's video, so definitely stick around to see if your name gets called.
Edna says, hi, Nick. Linda says, good evening, Nick and Alex. Pamela says, hi, Nick and Alex from Orlando, Florida. Hi, everyone.
Welcome, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. So we're going to start off with some very inexpensive 1.5-inch ribbon from Sam's Club, actually. So I love Sam's Club ribbon, or let me rephrase that. I love most of them. We have got to share it real quick, so just bear with me for 1 second. Thank you for the reminder, Alex. We're working with limited staff today. It's just me and Alex here, so let's get this shared real quick, and then we can create. But this is the ribbon we're going to be using. So this is a canvas ribbon, and it's a little bit different because it has kind of shimmer on the edges. But I really like this ribbon as well. So we just shared the video, and let's get started. So I'm just going to cut lengths about 6 to 8 inches for our tails, and then our loop size is going to be about 4.5 inches or so. So this bow we're constructing right now is actually going to be for our candy cane. So we already have our candy cane over there that we're going to make in just a few minutes, but today's bow is going to be kind of unusual for Christmas. We're going to be dealing with this blue ribbon, also that 1.5-inch red that we just added, and then we're going to have a red, blue, and green striped ribbon for the base of our candy cane. So hopefully that turns out nice. Usually colors that I don't work with all that often, but I know lots of you guys kind of like alternative colors as well.
We have Darlene who says, hi, Nick from Missouri. Carrie Ann says, hi, Nick and Alex. We have Karen from Alabama, Juan from Florida, Andrea from Illinois.
Wow, lots of people from everywhere tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Lots of people would love some free ribbon.
I mean, who wouldn't, right? So definitely comment down below if you haven't yet. Let me go to the comment section so I can see some of your comments as well. Hi from Texas. Welcome, Sylvia. Thank you for tuning in. So with these candy cane bows, what I typically like to do is I like to create 3 loops of each ribbon with their matching tails on either side. That seems to be the max. We don't need any more than that usually, just because the candy canes aren't absolutely massive. So I don't want to create some absolutely massive bow that will kind of deflect away from the candy cane. So that's another thing too, you guys, is whenever you're designing on any kind of base, whether it be a wreath or a wall swag or whatever you're making, always kind of make things to scale. You never really want to cover up the product behind it. So let's, for example, if you're designing on a wagon wheel, right? Have you seen those before, Alex, the wagon wheel designs? What's the point of using a wagon wheel if you can't see it? So I sometimes see designs that cover up the base a little too much, so you do want to be cautious of that because it's a waste to cover up your product if you can't see it in the end. So one final loop, you guys. I see over 300 people tuning in. Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Robin says, hello from Northeast Texas. I love ribbon and I really love your work.
Thank you, Robin.
Teresa says, hi, Nick and Alex. Pamela would love to win.
Awesome, you guys. So the ribbon choices are red, silver, and gold. And as always, comment down below what color you would like. All you have to do is comment down below you would like to win. But for my own curiosity, I find it interesting week after week seeing what kind of ribbon colors you guys like. And it varies for me. I'm still on that silver kick, though, so I'd probably still choose silver personally. So just wrapping our wire around and securing it by creating several knots in the back.
Linda loves the blue.
Linda loves the blue. I do too, Linda.
Pretty.
It is a pretty blue. So this ribbon's a little bit thinner than what I would like, but it's not going to make a difference. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to cut off the wires. We're not going to need them for the candy cane, but now what we got to do is dovetail. So this part's a little bit tedious, but trust me, especially with the candy cane, it pulls off in the end because you definitely see all of those nice little dovetails. And if you don't want a dovetail, no problem. Just cut it at an angle, one or the other, but never just leave these blunt edges like you see on this this bow right now. Almost 500 people. Thank you all. Keep the shares and likes coming. And you guys can be purchasing your Bowdabras from Michael's. You can be purchasing them from Hobby Lobby, as well as Amazon and Bowdabra.com. So just a couple more of these left. It seems like we did more than 3 loops, but we did. Only 6 loops total. But it's going to be a nice and full bow in the end. But still thick enough and still not as full enough that we can tuck in some loops, some greenery rather, and some picks and berries and whatnot.
We have Patty from southeastern Massachusetts who loves the colors. We have Tammy from Tennessee who says, this is my first time watching you, and bows are the hardest things. Where can I get one of the bow makers?
So I just listed all of the sources. You guys can be getting them from Amazon, like I said, Bowdabra.com, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's. But bows aren't that difficult. And, you know, we've made hundreds upon hundreds of bows. Hand-tied, we've used the Bowdabra numerous times on Bowdabra's page. So you're really going to have to, you know, just practice a little bit. Once you kind of master bow making, it becomes very easy. Not master, once it clicks for you, it becomes very easy to make. So if this tutorial doesn't work for you, my goal is by the end of the year is to have every one of my followers kind of learn how to make a bow. So you're going to have to figure out what tutorial works best for you. But like I said, we have hundreds upon hundreds. So there's plenty to choose from. Our final tail, we got a dovetail. And then we can move on to our next step, which is actually assembling our candy cane. So I see 530. Let's see if we can get 600 viewers right now. That would be incredible. But there's our bow. We didn't give it the ultimate fluff at this point because we still got to kind of fluff it once it goes on our candy cane.
Raylan says, oops, sorry. Tammy says, that's easy. I think she's saying the first part is easy and the rest of the bow confuses her. Making
so
one.
Tammy, just a little bit of practice does, you know, a lot, you know, when creating bows. So you'll definitely master it. But now what we're doing is we're just taking a 2.5-inch Sam's Club ribbon and wrapping it around our candy cane. So I haven't made one with this color scheme yet, but this ribbon is really thick and sturdy and not see-through, which I highly encourage when making candy canes, because if your ribbon's sheer or very thin, you can still see the metal through the frame, and I don't like that look personally. I don't like it at all. So always make sure you can't see any of your frame, whether you're designing on a candy cane like this or an 18-inch grapevine, or not a grapevine, 18-inch wire frame, or 14-inch from the dollar store. Always make sure you cover it up.
Tammy asked, what is your go-to for tying your bows? Wire, pipe cleaners, zip ties, or Bowdabra wire?
So my personal go-to is pipe cleaners, but that's just because it makes it sometimes quicker to stab into a grapevine or styrofoam. But this wire, you guys, is incredibly sturdy, and they sell that on Bowdabra.com as well. They have silver as well as gold. So if you're trying to match it to something, you know, you can easily do so. Because I think silver, and Alex, let's see if you agree with me. I think silver is one of those colors that's kind of like white, where it goes with anything. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
So gold, on the other hand, is a little bit more particular, but silver I think you can match to absolutely every color combo possible.
Connie says, just made my first bow on the Bowdabra. It was so easy and it turned out great. Linda says, I wrapped some candy cane forms, now need some bows.
You got it. So that's what we're gonna do. We just created a bow for this, and now what we're gonna do is just finish off our candy cane, and then we'll come back in with our bow and then some decorative picks. All right, that's not sitting exactly the way I want, so we're just gonna tighten that up a little bit more.
Deborah says, hi from Texas.
Hi, Deborah. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all of you guys joining us tonight. We are live on Bowdabra every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Last week was kind of a fluke because me and Alex couldn't get it to work for whatever reason. We were having some Facebook issues last week. So we ended up going live on Wednesday in case you missed it. But we are back on our Monday routine. And again, you guys, if these videos are beneficial to you, we love hearing your feedback. If you enjoy them or if they're helpful, just drop us a comment. Lets us know you like these videos, and we'll continue doing lots and lots more of them. So I'm just taking some hot glue to finish it off. This is a scrap stick, and that's what I use to swirl my glue around.
Charlene says, I'm trying your funky bow, but doing it a little different. Works for me.
That's exactly. As long as it works for you, that's all that matters. So the way I teach bows is what works best for me through trial and error. So you're just going to have to figure out what works best for you through your own trial and error. So we're just going to take our bow. I'm going to place a generous amount of hot glue where we cut off the wire.
Betty says, Nick, you are so talented, and I've learned to make bows by watching you. I'm 80 years old. Thank you for teaching an old dog a new trick.
Oh, thank you, Betty. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. You seriously are. And I'm so happy, Betty, that you finally learned how to make a bow. So like I said, once it clicks in your brains, you guys, it becomes so easy. So I'm just going to leave that like that for now. So I think it's turning out really pretty so far. So I'm going to let the glue harden up a little bit, and then we can come back to fixing that a little bit later on. But now we'll create another bow. So we're going to use some more of our wire. Over 650 people watching. I see 662. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Take our wire, place it underneath our Bowdabra. Just keeps it out of the way for a little bit. And to secure my ribbons, you guys, what Yaya has found over the years that works best is actually taking some of my boxes of corsage pins and boutonniere pins and just using those. So I used to do a lot of, proms, a lot of corsages and boutonnieres for that. So I have hundreds upon hundreds of pins, and they seem to hold really nicely all of your ribbons. So that's just a quick little tip for you guys. Ruth is from Ohio. Thank you, Ruth, for tuning in. What I'm doing now is I'm just cutting off our tails. You can cut them however long or short you would like. It actually totally depends on the design you're creating. But no matter what design you're creating, I think having longer tails always enhances something. And let me know if you guys agree with that. Don't long tails just cascading down below really bring your bows to life and make them look nice.
Deb said, so excited. My skillet and glue came today.
Awesome, Deb. Did you guys order the glue skillet? I'm wondering who else ordered it. I posted it the other day on Nick's Seasonal Decor because so many of you guys were interested in it. So if you've missed that, just head over to Nick's Seasonal Decor and you'll find the link to the glue skillet and the glue sticks, or nicksseasonaldecor.com. I updated the website as well. So we're doing 3 loops on either side now. So I'm creating these loops about 3.5, 4 inches or so, and we're only doing 3 like I said. So this is going to be kind of a 2-tiered bow. And I'm not going to measure them. If you would like to measure them, you certainly can. I've never kind of went the extra mile to measure. It doesn't seem too necessary to me. But now what we can do is cut off our ribbon. I'm going to cut it off with about 1/2 inch of an overhang. And can you think of a reason why I would cut it off with an overhang, Alex?
Just in case it falls out.
That's right. So you always want a little bit of leverage. Same goes with pipe cleaners and zip ties. You always want to cut them a little bit past, the very end, just in case it falls apart. So now we're going to take our next ribbon. This is a 1.5 inch brown and black Swiss dot. So this is going to be a perfect Thanksgiving bow, just very natural tones, nothing shiny, nothing glamorous about it. So we'll do 2 of these loops on either side, about 2.5, 3 inches now. And you guys can kind of totally feel free to mess up those sizes and make them to your liking. Just give it a shot. You'll be surprised as to how your bows can turn out.
We have Denise from Quebec, Canada watching. Diana says, I prefer the longer tails as well. Edna from Maryland. Brenda from Pennsylvania. Kim says AC/DC was her first concert.
Ooh, me and Alex actually bought these. Funny story. Before I get to the story, what I'm doing is I'm taking the wire, bringing it from one side to the other, and just putting it through that little slip knot. And then you can just tie it directly in your Bowdabra as well. So the choice is up to you. It's honestly whatever you're most comfortable with. You're going to have to figure out ways to use any device in your shop to your liking. Oops. So now our bow is constructed. But getting back to that story, me and Alex actually went to JCPenney several years back. And we got these shirts, but they didn't have Alex's size, so that she climbed up to the top shelf. She's smiling at me right now. She climbed up to the top shelf, and I'm pretty sure like a bunch of things fell down, didn't they?
Yeah,
or
like
fell down.
there was a few shelves fell.
Yeah, she got her shirt though, so that's all that matters. But yeah, it was kind of funny. That was years ago now though, so we've had these shirts for a long time. So just separating those loops, you guys, pulling them apart to the best of our ability. Keep in mind too, whenever your bow goes on your final project, you always want to give it a good fluff then too. By fluffing at this point, you're just getting the overall shape and the overall look of your bow, but you're always going to have to do final touches when all is said and done anyway.
Kathy asked, did you do a table arrangement tutorial?
So we have lots of them on Nick's Seasonal Decor, but we also are recording several this month in Nick's exclusive Wreath community. So if that's something you're interested in, the group is currently closed, but you can sign up for our email list at nicksseasonaldecor.com to be alerted next time we open the doors. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that a pretty bow? Give some hearts if you love that.
Tammy says, I bought the glue skillet, glue, The rolling fabric cutter you cut your mesh with. Also bought the Bowdabra. You have great tips.
Look at you. That's awesome. You're going to love everything. So there's the next bow, and I think that one turned out pretty. But let's come back to our candy cane. We're going to fix this a little bit. So if there's any tails that are super long for your liking, just snip them back. I don't want massive tails on this design. I know, that sounds kind of crazy, but you definitely want to still be able to notice that it is a candy cane. So don't get a little too crazy when it comes to designing these.
Pauline says, beautiful. Kim says, love watching your lives.
Thank you, Pauline and Kim. We appreciate that. So we're going to be live on Nick's Seasonal Decor tonight as well. We have been doing a live on my page for months now. So we started that, I think, like a week and a half, 2 weeks before my birthday in July. And we've been going steady strong since then. And I don't foresee us stopping, especially with the big Christmas rush that's going to be hitting all of us. We got lots of designs to create and lots of ideas to do as well. So there's our bow, a little bit more to scale. Just trimmed up a few more of those tails. Edna says, pretty. Thank you, Edna. So let's just add a few decorative picks.
We have Sharon from North Carolina who says, love your shirt, love your bow making.
Thank you, Sharon. So here we just have some basic red picks. So I just want to enhance this a little bit. Keep in mind, in my opinion at least, these candy canes are very budget friendly. You can pick up the frame for $1. You can use inexpensive ribbon. So when I design these, I like to design these with customers that don't want to be spending a fortune on them. So these are usually anywhere from $25 to $30. And I recommend you guys have these in your shops for, those prices as well if you're creating a design like this. So with that in mind, we don't want to be adding too many different types of products so that we have to skyrocket the price. So I usually deal with, 3 to 5 picks in these designs. That stem's a little long. We'll just snip that off.
Catherine says, I love my Bowdabra. Makes it a lot easier to handle heavy ribbons.
Exactly.
Katrina says, you make it look so easy. Beautiful job. Cheryl says, I love your design. So beautiful.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. So again, if you haven't commented down below, you'd like to win a free roll of ribbon, I suggest you do so. So I'm just taking one more of those sprays and just kind of working it in between. This one's not going to be overly fancy, in which none of them really are. I like to keep them pretty simple for the candy canes. And our final loop.
Marlene says, I want to win. Kathleen says, love the candy cane.
So this isn't hardened up yet, but look at how pretty that is. What do you guys think? Can they see that?
Yeah. Miranda says, very whimsical. Can't wait for the finished product.
All right, so let's create another bow. This ribbon I just found, and it looks like I see it behind me. I haven't seen it. I don't know why. It's right in front of my face. I have like 10 or so rolls of this. So I figured let's create a bow using that now. So we got 10 minutes left. Let's design another bow. So this bow is going to be traditional. So with Christmas in mind, there's so many different types of bows you can make, but the bow that always screams Christmas to me is traditional. And I know some of you guys feel the same way. I think nothing is, as Christmassy as a traditional bow, especially just a red velvet bow, keeping things simple for Christmas. But today, we're going to be doing a traditional bow with this kind of checkered and polka dot, glittered red, white, and green ribbon. So this one's really pretty. So I just cut some of our tails. These tails are about 20 inches or so on either side. We'll just slip those right into our Bowdabra.
Linda says she loves this ribbon.
I do too. I think it's such a pretty ribbon. So then we can take our tail, or the end of our roll, place it in. And I like to flip my Bowdabra with each turn. If you want to flip your hands or adjust your ribbon with each turn, you can do that as well. But what I have found for my own, hands, flipping the Bowdabra round and round seems to work the best for me. So just continue doing the same process, twisting your ribbon, placing a loop. And keep in mind, the more loops you have in your bow, the more full your bow is going to be. But you might not necessarily always want to have a super full bow. I know I certainly don't. And you guys hear me talk about that week after week, and it's really important because if you're trying to incorporate this into a floral wreath, I highly suggest working in a few products into your bows, like greenery or flowers.
Monica says, learning so much from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Amy says, you amaze me in your talents and great speaking instructions.
Oh, Amy, thank you. So here's our final loop. We decided to do 5 on either side. Place that into our Bowdabra. Move our roll of ribbon to the side. Almost 700 people. Thank you, guys. Take our wire, bring it from one side to the other. You can create a slip knot right inside of it, and then you can tie it off if you so choose. Like that.
Barbara asked, I have a question. What is the thing that holds more than one roll of mesh instead of cutting it one at a time?
A thing that for mesh? I believe Susie created one once. I have to figure out what they're called, but I do have that. I'll figure it out and I'll post it in the comments section. But I actually don't deal with a whole lot of mesh. We've been doing a couple lately, but we've mainly been focusing on just floral designs. I love working with flowers more than anything. Yeah, there's so many different tools out there you can be using to kind of cut more than one roll of mesh. But I usually only deal with 1 or 2 rolls of mesh for my projects anyway.
Kathleen says, Nick, you are the best.
Thank you, Kathleen. What do you think of that, you guys? Isn't that a traditional bow? Can't get any more traditional with just simple loops and tails. What do you guys think? Let me see what I think. I think that looks pretty. What do you think, Alex?
I like it.
You like that color combo?
Yeah, I like the green.
I do too. So I also found this ribbon that I don't think I've worked with, and if I have, I just can't remember. I definitely have, though. I just don't know where. And this is kind of a sheer, very thin wired ribbon. But look at that. Isn't that kind of a unique texture? I don't think I've ever used that before. So we're going to take, do I have a leftover piece of wire? I do, right here. Let's see what we can do with this piece of wire. You're going to take it. We don't need a massive wire. But I always suggest you cut your wires longer than you anticipate on using them. Just because if you don't have enough wire, you're going to have to cut an extra length of it. So keep that in mind as you're designing. So for this bow, let's just do a kind of a miniature funky bow. I don't think I've done one of those before. So we're just cutting our tails about 4 to 5 inches, and our loops are about 2.5 inches. Very small, but I think it should turn out kind of cute.
Sandy asks, what size loops are they?
I just said that. What size was it? About 3 inches or so. Like I said, you guys, you don't have to be exact. 3 to 4 inches. If you're an inch or 2 off, it's not going to be a huge deal. You're not really going to notice that much. So just snipping off our tails, kind of reversing.
Debbie says, you make it look so easy. I try to use mine and threw it back in the box.
Debbie, you've got this. So I know once you kind of mess up or if you don't get the hang of it, it becomes very stressful and you get agitated. But, don't quit. Once, like I said, once it clicks in your brain, you'll be very surprised as to what you can create. So just taking this will be our final one. We don't need too many.
Cheryl says, oh my God, I'm dying of ribbon envy.
I know. Over the years, I've collected my fair share of rolls of ribbon. I mean, who doesn't love ribbon? Where'd my wire go? I know it was small, but I didn't think it was that small. All right, so I got to take it out and place it over the wire. But after this wire, you guys, we are done with the gold. We're transitioning to silver. So I wanted to squeeze in one more gold. So this is just a little leftover piece of wire. But the silver is probably going to be my favorite. I think I like silver much better than gold. I do like silver much better than gold, and I know you do too, Alex.
Yeah, especially with jewelry too. I'm more of a silver girl.
Yeah, you've never been a huge fan of gold either. What do you guys think? For jewelry, do you like silver better or gold? So gold's obviously more expensive, but doesn't mean it's better looking.
Well, there's white gold.
There is white gold.
Silver.
Is that gold though?
White gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it gold?
Yeah, it's gold. It's just white gold.
I don't know if it's real gold or not. But look at that for a present. How cute would that be? Or a wine bottle. Alex loves wine, so I'm pretty sure she'd appreciate getting a pretty little bow with her nice bottle of rosé or Merlot.
We have our winner tonight.
Who's our winner?
So our winner is Annette Miller. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Annette. You just won yourself a free roll of ribbon. So message Bowdabra, and they will be more than happy to send you a free roll of ribbon of your choice. So again, red, silver, or gold. And we draw winners every week. So let's break apart our new roll of ribbon wire and create one more bow, right? Let's see how much time we have.
Robin says, me too, silver or gold. Patricia says silver or white gold.
All right, you guys are my people. I knew that already, though. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of gold. We do a couple trees in gold just because it fits the room. But as a whole, I'm not the world's biggest fan of gold. So let's find the end of this wire. It's got to be in here somewhere. There it is. Cut a length of this. Fresh new roll of wire, you guys. How nice is that? All right, so take our length of wire, place it into our Bowdabra, and we'll create another bow. Oh. Sorry about that, you guys. We had a little accident. There we go.
Cheryl says, first comment ever. Love the way you teach. Ordered my glue skillet today. Never seen one until I started watching you.
Who said that? Cheryl?
That was Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. And you're going to love your glue skillet. That's a given. Everybody loves their glue skillet. So let's do a traditional bow. a different traditional bow. I think this is another traditional bow, just a completely different style. So this one's only going to have a certain amount of loops, and they're going to be a little bit more spaced out and a little bit more precise than what we usually do. So I'm just going to take our wire, place it into our Bowdabra, and create 3 loops on either side. You could even do 2 if you really... No, let's do 2. Let's do 2 loops on either side. Uh-oh. Something happened?
No, I was just looking.
Just looking. All right. So 2 loops about 4.5 inches or so on either side. That's it. Then we're going to kind of progressively get smaller. So there's our 2 loops. We're going to create 1 loop on either side now. That's even smaller than that. So those were about 4.5 inches. We'll do about 3.5 inches, 3 to 3.5 inch.
Diana asked, why do you double the wire?
It just strengthens it, and it also creates kind of a little slip knot in the end that you can slide your wire through. But now we're creating our final loop, and this loop's only going to be about 2.5, 3 inches max. This is what I like to call a little button loop, dead smack in the middle. Now we can take our wires and bring them from one side to the other.
Maria says gold was big in the 80s and 90s, now not so much.
Yeah, gold was big then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, also back then, too, there was a lot more jewelry stores than you'll ever see now.
I feel like a lot of wedding rings used to be more gold.
Yeah, a lot of wedding. Not as much.
Not as much anymore,
No.
but like...
Yeah, they used to be lots of gold. I think silver and diamonds look better anyway, personally.
Yeah.
You know.
I like silver.
But what was I just going to say? Yeah, there's a lot more jewelry stores, I feel like, back in even the early 2000s in comparison to now. But that's a totally different topic.
Cece says, hi Nick, got my glue skillet today, and guess what the box it comes in is... Oops, sorry. Hi Nick, got my glue skillet today, and guess what the box it comes in is the box I received it in. Amazon didn't bother to put it in a box to ship out. Oh, but she got her skillet.
You got your skillet, though. As long as it has 4 legs, you know, you're going to love it no matter what. So, I know Amazon's incredibly busy right now. You know, shipping, whatever you order, just expect a few days delay at least for whatever you're doing. But Amazon Prime's been kind of crazy fast lately. It's still the 2 days. So look at that bow, you guys. Isn't that kind of pretty? With just 2 big loops, 2 medium loops, and 1 button loop dead smack in the middle. I like that one with those long tails. This is a pretty ribbon, too. What do you think?
I like it.
So let's do a quick little recap. We created this bow, traditional bow. We created a miniature funky bow with little loops using kind of a very fuzzy, tinsely ribbon, which is kind of fun sometimes. We created this pretty candy cane. And we also created the ultimate traditional bow that you see year after year for every pretty much Christmas decoration out there, with just the regular loops and the long tails. So let's create one more bow now that we have a couple more minutes. Oops. Let's go. Let's see. Let's do this one. This one's kind of fun. You see that? Something different. I don't think I've worked with this in a long, long time. So we'll cut another length of our wire.
Judy says, when I got married, white gold was considered cheap and everyone bought yellow gold.
See, that's what happens, though, with the change of the times. You know, everything changes. Things come in, things come out. Everything kind of changes over time. I mean, like, bringing back the malls that we talked about. Remember how popular malls used to be?
Even with, like, style. Fanny packs are back in.
Fanny packs are back in. Those should have stayed out.
Bell-bottom jeans are coming back.
Bell-bottoms, though.
I heard low rises too, but I'm not ready for that.
Ready for that?
No.
You don't have the strength. All right, so we're going to take this ribbon. Let's do, what should we do? Let's just do a bunch of loops and tails. You know, like I said, there's so many different ways to make bows, and there's no right way and there's no wrong way, so whatever works best for you and whatever you're most comfortable with. So look, I have a long tail, a short tail. We're just going to repeat that process over and over again until we have the amount of loops and tails that we want. So, like I said before, and let me know what you guys think of this. How does creating kind of like a door knob decoration sound? So we have lots of doors in our house that we never use. Isn't that right, Alex? How many doorknobs do we have that we honestly don't remember the last time we opened? So, you know, having a little Christmas touch on that might be kind of cool with some bells or something. So I'd love to hear your feedback on designing something like that. I feel like it would kind of be fun. So we'll have one longer tail anywhere from 6 to 12 inches and one shorter tail anywhere from 4 to 6 inches. And just repeat that pattern over and over again. So we'll do one more.
Cheryl says, I love your crafting videos. So relaxing after teaching online all day.
Ooh, Thank you. I appreciate that. But I know how teaching online can be really difficult with all of the teachers right now. So they don't definitely have my support. So we're just taking that. We have 4 loops and then a bunch of tails. Bring it from one side to the other. Tie it really tight. Create a couple knots to make sure it's in place. Take it out of our Bowdabra. Tighten it really tight. Create one more knot just for added security. You can never have extra security, right? You can always use that, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But just fluff out those tails, you guys. And we have some smaller ones, some shorter ones. And I think that'd be kind of fun. Also, going up your staircase, once you kind of fluff those tails out, having them on your like banister and like those little spindles. The spindles, that's what they're called. Going up every few spindles or so. Or another wine bottle decoration. That might be better for a wine bottle too. I think I just want wine, you guys. I think that's what it seems like. All right, so what do you think of that one? That one's kind of fun, something different. You could even take an ornament and place it dead smack in the middle of it if you so decided to do so. Let's see. For someone new to bow making, do you think the Easy Bow Maker or Bowdabra is easier? Watching you has inspired me to make a wreath. So Anna, to be honest, I've not used the Easy Bow Maker, so I can't actually speak on that. I know lots of other designers use it, but Bowdabra's got my full support. I've been using it for years and years, actually in my fresh design, so it really stands the test of time. This Bowdabra's got to be 8 years old. 7 or 8 years old. That's how long I've had this, and it's still going strong. And I'm waiting on the day it finally decides to break on camera. But I highly doubt that's going to happen because it still looks. If I wash this, which I have yet to do, I haven't washed my Bowdabra. It has glitter on it. But if I wash this, I swear it would look brand new. That's how old it is. 7, 8 years at least. So they've got my support. We created this bow tonight. We created this bow tonight. We created this bow tonight. This one's probably my favorite tonight. I love that color combo. What do you think of that, Alex?
It's pretty. Very neutral.
Yeah, very neutral. So that's kind of like a 2-ribbon bow. We created 3 more bows, it looks like. How many bows did we make? We created this candy cane. We created this bow. And lastly, we created the ultimate traditional bow. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Again, if you don't mind giving this video a like and a share, as well as commenting down below if these videos are helpful, I greatly appreciate it. And I also want to thank Bowdabra for having me as a guest tonight. I'll see you all next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we will be drawing another lucky winner for a free roll of ribbon next Monday. So again, thank you all for your time. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.